When we picture a spinal cord injury, we almost always imagine a loss of motion. We think of the somatic nervous system, the voluntary commands that let us walk, reach, and grasp, suddenly freezing in place. Voluntary movement is only half of human biology. In the background runs the autonomic nervous system. This is the invisible, automatic machinery responsible for keeping you alive, regulating your heart rate, digesting your food, and expanding your lungs without a single conscious thought. While the loss of somatic function is life-altering, the disruption of the autonomic system is life-threatening. A severed spinal cord disconnects the brain's central command from the body's critical life support infrastructure. In a healthy body, the spinal cord operates like a high-speed data cable. The brain uses it to fire a constant, uninterrupted stream of regulatory signals down to the organs to keep the internal environment balanced. When physical trauma crushes the cord or cuts off its blood supply, it triggers an immediate biological event called spinal shock. Spinal shock acts as a total electrical blackout. Below the level of the injury, all neurological function ceases. Reflexes vanish, and muscles go entirely flaccid as the grid shuts down. Once this shock fades, individual organ systems attempt to operate blindly, stripped of central brain oversight. Take breathing. Right now, it's a zero-effort automatic process. But after an injury, respiratory survival depends entirely on the exact anatomical level of the spinal damage. High in the neck, at the C1 through C5 vertebrae, sit the nerves that activate the diaphragm. Severing the cord here destroys the body's primary mechanical ability to pull air into the lungs. This medical diagram shows how lower injuries shift the burden. The spinal cord controls the intercostal and abdominal muscles used for coughs and sneezes. Without them, a patient loses the mechanical power required to forcefully clear airway secretions. This creates a constant daily battle against chest infections. Because the mechanical bellows of the lungs are compromised, even a minor cold can lead to a life-threatening buildup in the lungs. Normally, if you sit in one position for too long, your nerves send minor discomfort signals to the brain. You shift your weight or cross your legs automatically to relieve the pressure. Spinal cord injuries silence this loop. This dermatome map shows the exact skin territories assigned to specific spinal nerves. Below the injury site, these zones permanently lose the ability to report distress. The consequences of this silence are severe. This diagram shows the localized pressure points most vulnerable when lying down. Without the feeling of discomfort, steady pressure on these points cuts off circulation, causing rapid tissue death and deep pressure sores. The loss of pain removes the body's early warning alarm system. It turns a simple chair or a bed into a constant physical hazard. The circulatory system also loses its regulator. Without autonomic control, blood pressure drops to a lower baseline. This often leads to postural hypotension, where simply sitting up causes the patient to faint. Excretory functions fail as well. The brain can no longer command the bladder sphincter valve to open when the organ is full. The nature of this failure depends on the L1 vertebrae. Injuries below L1 result in a flaccid, inactive bladder. Injuries above L1 cause reflex spasticity, where the bladder spasms against the closed valve. For injuries above the T6 or T7 level, this leads to the most dangerous autonomic failure, autonomic dysreflexia. When a full bladder sends distress signals that are blocked by the injury, the local nervous system below the damage panics. It triggers a massive fight or flight response that the brain cannot reach to shut off. This causes a terrifying cascade, a massive spike in blood pressure, a pounding headache, and extreme sweating. In this state, the body attacks itself with lethal force, simply because it cannot communicate a basic internal need to the brain. Life post-injury requires taking conscious, manual control over biological systems that were designed to be completely automatic. Patients must use incentive spirometers to manually train paralyzed breathing muscles, replacing a subconscious reflex with a grueling mechanical routine. They must follow a strict clockwork schedule for weight shifts to protect their skin, and rely on catheters to empty the bladder before the autonomic system panics. Even diet and fluid intake are precisely monitored to manage bowel routines and avoid triggering spikes in blood pressure. A spinal cord injury is an incredible feat of human adaptation, the conscious orchestration of a biological machine that has permanently lost its automatic pilot.